The moment you begin to justify your actions, you have already surrendered. You have handed the leash of your own identity to another person and invited them to pull. In the dark hierarchy of human interaction, silence is a fortress, while explanation is a leak, a slow, rhythmic dripping of your authority onto the floor until you are left empty. Most people believe that communication is a bridge. They are wrong. Between the powerful and the weak, communication is a boundary. When you over-explain, you are not building a bridge. You are tearing down your own walls. You are begging for permission to exist. You are signaling to the world that your decisions are not final until someone else stamps them with the seal of approval. Consider the predator. A wolf does not explain its hunger to the deer. It does not offer a list of reasons why the hunt is necessary. It simply moves. It exists in a state of absolute self-certainty. The moment a predator begins to justify its presence, it ceases to be a predator. It becomes a scavenger, hoping for a scrap of validation. Picture a king sitting upon a throne of cold stone. A subject asks why a tax has been raised or why a war has been declared. If the king begins to stutter through a list of logical benefits, the crown on his head begins to lose its weight. It becomes a hollow prop. But if the king simply stares, if he lets the silence stretch until it suffocates the room, the subject is forced to confront the reality of power. The king does not answer to the subject. The king answers only to the void. Every time you explain why you did something, you are placing yourself in the witness stand. You are turning the person across from you into a judge. You are telling them, my judgment is not enough. I need yours to feel whole. This is the psychological equivalent of baring your throat. You are showing them exactly where to strike if they ever wish to control you. Authority is not something you get. It is something you maintain through the absence of weakness. Justification is the purest form of social weakness. It is a confession that you are afraid of being misunderstood. It is a confession that you cannot handle the weight of someone else's disapproval. Redefine your understanding of kindness. In the eyes of the powerful, what you call politeness is often just a mask for your fear. You think you are being helpful by explaining your motives, but you are actually poisoning the respect others have for you. You are teaching them that your boundaries are negotiable. You are telling them that if they push hard enough, you will eventually bleed words until you have nothing left to defend. The air in the room changes when a man stops explaining. It becomes heavy. It becomes thick with the realization that this person cannot be swayed by guilt or social pressure. When you refuse to justify your choices, you occupy a space that others cannot enter. You become an enigma, and in the world of power, the unknown is always more terrifying and more respected than the known. Stop offering the blueprints of your mind to people who haven't earned the right to see them. Stop treating your life like a court case where you are both the defendant and the lawyer. The only verdict that matters is the one you give yourself in the dark. The urge to explain is a nervous twitch of the ego. It is the sound of a man drowning in his own need to be seen as right. But in the shadows of power, being right is irrelevant. Being ordered is everything. When you offer a justification, you are handing over a thread. You are giving the other person a string they can pull to unravel your entire composure. Imagine a chamber where the air is thin and the light is dim. You have made a decision that inconveniences another. They look at you with expectant eyes, waiting for the apology, the because, the rationalization. Most men will shatter under that silence. They will start to babble. They will talk about their schedule, their stress, or their intentions. They think they are clearing the air, but they are actually tightening a noose around their own neck. Every word is a piece of evidence that can and will be used to manipulate them later. Validation is a drug, and over-explaining is the act of a desperate addict. You are begging the other person to say, "I understand, it's okay." You are seeking their absolution. But why does a lion need the absolution of the sheep? He doesn't. He moves with a singular, quiet intent. Redefine the truth. In the realm of the high-value individual, the truth does not need a defense. The truth simply exists. If you feel the need to defend it, you are admitting that your truth is fragile. You are suggesting that if someone doesn't agree with you, your reality might crumble. This is why the manipulator loves the explainer. The moment you start justifying, the manipulator knows they have won. They don't even need to argue argue with you. They only need to keep looking at you with a tilted head and a questioning brow, and you will continue to bleed information, secrets, and status until you are hollowed out. Picture a negotiator who says no and then stares. The silence that follows is a vacuum. It is a physical weight that crushes the opponent. The opponent will do anything to fill that void. They will lower their price. They will offer concessions. They will apologize. This is the power of the unsaid. By refusing to justify your no, you make your no an immovable mountain. By justifying it, you turn your no into a suggestion, a starting point for a debate. You must understand that most people do not listen to your reasons to understand you. They listen to find the holes in your armor. They are looking for the weak spot in your logic so they can exploit it. When you provide no logic, you provide no target. You become a shadow that cannot be grasped. The social hierarchy is built on the foundation of who answers to whom. The person who asks the questions is the master. The person who provides the answers, the justifications, is the servant. Every time you proactively explain your movements, your diet, your career choices, or your absence, you are reaffirming your status as a servant. You are reporting to a superior you created in your own mind. The void is your greatest ally. To leave a question hanging in the air without the bait of an explanation is an act of supreme psychological violence against the mediocre. It forces them to sit with their own discomfort. It forces them to realize that your world does not rotate around their understanding. Stop trying to be understood. Being understood is the consolation prize for people who lack the courage to be feared or respected. The wolf is never understood by the forest. He is simply acknowledged as a force of nature. Be the force. The final stage of power is the total death of the urge to be liked. To stop explaining is to accept that you may be painted as the villain in someone else's story and to not care. Most men are terrified of this. They would rather bleed their authority dry than be thought of as cold or arrogant. But arrogance is a shield and silence is the sword that keeps the world at a distance. Imagine a master sculptor working on a block of black marble. He does not ask the stone where it wants to be cut. He does not explain to the dust why it must be swept away. He simply carves. His vision is absolute. Your life is that marble. The people around you, their opinions, their whys, their demands for clarity are the dust. If you stop to explain every strike of your hammer, the sculpture will never be finished. You will die with a half-formed shape and a mouth full of excuses. Redefine your no. A no with an explanation is a negotiation. A no followed by silence is a law. When you tell someone why you cannot do something, you are giving them the tools to dismantle your refusal. If you say, "I can't come because I'm busy," they will solve your busyness for you. They will offer a different time, a different way, a different path. But if you simply say, "That does not work for me," and stop talking, you offer them nothing to grab onto. You become a smooth, vertical wall. They will claw at the surface, looking for a handhold of justification, and they will find only the cold reality of your will. Picture the shadow of an ancient monolith. It does not move for the sun. The sun must move around it. This is the frame of the high-value individual. When you justify yourself, you are moving your shadow to accommodate others. You are shifting your weight to make them comfortable. Power is the ability to stay still while the rest of the world vibrates with anxiety around you. The throat is the most vulnerable part of the body, and every word of justification is a self-inflicted wound. You are leaking the essence of your mystery. People are naturally drawn to what they cannot fully understand. By explaining your motives, you become predictable. You become a solved puzzle, and once a puzzle is solved, it is cast aside. The moment they know why you do what you do, they lose their fear of you. They lose their awe. The void is not your enemy. The silence that follows a decision is not a hole to be filled. It is a throne to be occupied. Let them stutter. Let them fill the air with their own insecurities. Let them wonder if you are angry, if you are calculating, or if you simply don't care. Their confusion is your leverage. From this moment on, treat your words like gold in a time of famine. Do not spend them on people who only wish to weigh them and find them wanting. If a decision is yours to make, the decision itself is the only explanation required. You are the architect of your own reality. You are the predator in your own woods. Let the world keep its questions. You will keep your power.